A lot of you asked how I made my wings for my dragon gown, so here is a little behind the scenes. I started by just roughly sketching out a template on paper, and all I had on hand at the time was some thick gauge armature wire and electrical tape, and that's what I used to make the skeleton of my dragon wings. And for a little extra support, I used 2 layers of the wire down the center of the back. The wings themselves are made out of one large sheet of 2mm EVA foam. Here's where I will fully admit I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was just quite literally winging this entire project as I was going. This entire project was very last minute, and had I had time to actually sit and thoroughly think this through, I would have done a few things differently. Realistically, I actually did not need the 2 middle wires in the center of the wing, but oh well. Once I hot glued everything down, then this is where the magic really happens. Using the heat gun, I was able to actually mold the wing into the shape that I wanted it to be. And this is also what gave it that nice, smooth, leathery, almost latex sort of look. If I'd had a little bit more time, I would have burned the ends a little bit, maybe with a lighter, and just give it a little bit more of a weathered sort of feel, but overall I was really happy with this. Because I didn't account for how much extra weight the hot glue actually added, I needed to create an additional support for the back. So the back brace is actually about the length of my spine. To make this more comfortable for myself, I ended up just sandwiching this between some additional pieces of EVA foam. Then to cover up all of my exposed edges and to create the claws at the tops of my wings, I just used foam clay. This part of the project was actually done the morning of the event, and thankfully everything dried with just enough time for me to get everything painted before we had to leave. I covered everything with a coat of dragon glaze and spray painted the edges with just some gold metallic spray paint. The wings took about a day to make. The corset and the skirt an additional 2 days. The horns and bracers I also handmade, but those ones were from previous projects. I also handmade the necklaces, but again from previous projects. The entire look is of course inspired by Sigale from Fourth Wing, and I think it came out pretty good. I'm really happy with it.